Hi, in a previous video entitled NuTone Intercom IMA4006 Common Failure Number 1, I outlined what happens for the age-related problem of a failed power supply and amplifier in a NuTone IM4006 or IMA4006. And today we have another example of that. So instead of restating what I said in the first video, let's take a second and look at what I said in that video and then talk about what we have in front of us here. More background hum on the system than you previously had. And then over a really long period of time, could be months, could be a year or more sometimes, the hum will become louder and louder as more and more components continue to fail, and at some point the hum will turn into more of a buzz, and if you wait long enough the buzz will get louder and louder and louder, and like I said, this can take months or a year or more sometimes for it to happen. So it's a very long, slow, gradual decline into failure. If you wait long enough and you do what a lot of people do, where the hum or the buzz gets too annoying, they just go around into every room and they turn the volumes down so they can't hear it. That doesn't make the hum go away. It doesn't make the problem go away. It just covers up the problem for the time being, but the problem is still occurring. And if you wait long enough, one day you'll walk by it and look at the master station and you'll notice, hey, the clock's not on anymore. And if you reach that point, it's well into, on a 1 to 10 scale, 1 being barely starting to fail, and 10, it's so bad that you really can't stand it anymore. By the time you reach the point where the clock has gone out, you have now reached an 11. You're way off the scale, and it's really, really bad. How's that for a sort of on-the-spot review of what I've said previously? So how does that relate to this IMA4006 that I have sitting in front of me? This was sent in by a customer, Deborah, and she's in Austin, Texas, by the way. I thought this would be a good example. She started to have problems with this set sometimes between 2 and 4 years ago, and I'm guessing it was probably more like 4 than 2. She did exactly what I talked about in the video clip that we just watched. She simply went around and she turned all of the speakers down and kind of ignored the problem. And you might be thinking, well, if everybody does that, what's the big deal about Deborah's intercom? Well, let me show you, because now I'm going to power it up. Okay, so I've turned all the lights off in the shop so you can actually see what does and doesn't work. So now I'm going to go ahead and power it up. Again, listen carefully. And if you listen carefully, you can hear a low-level buzz on the system. That's there because of the failure in the set, but what you don't see is we have no clock, we have no radio on, power LED on and off. When it's on, none of the selector LEDs light up, the intercom doesn't function, nothing works at all. It seems to be in pretty terrible shape, even to the point where the hinges on the doors on the faceplate have broken off and this door keeps falling off, and we're going to replace those. So what Deborah wants me to do is, let's turn this off, because even that little bit of a buzz bothers me after that long. We have a lot to do on this 4006, and I wanted to show you, this is what I was talking about in the previous video, the one you saw the clip for. This is what happens when you leave a set in a failed state for a long time and ignore the problem. The problem grows through the set, and now we have a situation where, for the most part, other than the little bit of buzz, nothing works at all. So it needs to be completely rebuilt, which is what we're going to do, because she likes the intercom even though it hasn't worked in a long time. We're also going to re-whiten the faceplate, which we have a video that shows the before and after of how that looks, and I'll probably do a little bit of before and after on this one also. And as I've done in previous videos where we talk about re-whitening, we're going to use our control speaker. This is an IS445 white, which is a later model speaker but in the same white finish as a 4006 would have been. And if we do like this, you can get a real idea of this is what the 4006 looked like in Deborah's house when it was new, and this is where we are with it today. So that's pretty terrible. I wanted to show you what can happen if you ignore a set and leave it long enough. Eventually more and more things stop working, and pretty soon you get to the point where basically nothing works at all. Now I'm going to take it all apart. I'm going to do the whitening on the faceplate first because we're busy at the shop. I'll work on her circuit boards this afternoon or tomorrow, and once the faceplate's all done, we'll get it all put back together, and I'll show you what the end result is. I just hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you again in a little bit. Hi, I'm back. A few days have passed since I shot the first part of this video, and I showed you Deborah's IMA4006 and how dead it really was, and explained why that had happened. And I also showed that we were going to re-whiten the faceplate while we had it all apart. So after I shot the video, I disassembled the entire set. I put the faceplate in the whitening tank. The following day after it was done, I rebuilt all of the boards because we're really busy this time of year. The day after that, I reassembled it all. And here we have her working IMA4006 white. And it is actually white again. If you go back and look at the first part of the video, you'll see that her faceplate had discolored a lot, and it looked like our ever-present shop comparison. This is a 4406. This was white when it was new. As I've shown in other videos, if you open the CD player door, you can see it's pretty white in here. It's not original white because it's yellowed a little bit, but you can see how much the outside has discolored, and that's a lot what Deborah's looked like before we started. And to show you how well it turned out, here's our other sample. This is our IS445 white speaker, and this is a brand new grill. If we put them side by side, this is granted a little brighter white than what this is, but the 4006 wasn't bright white to start with. They just called it out as white, and as near as I can tell, this turned out really well, and I don't think anyone would complain. The most important part is that her system now actually works. If you look carefully, you can see the clock is lit up. It's 11:28 on Friday morning, getting ready for the long weekend, and it all functions exactly as it's supposed to. The intercom controls work. We have inside patio talk. I have it set up with one remote station here and my door speaker over there that I use for all testing. So inside patio talk works. Hands-free reply works. We get a little feedback there because the speakers are so close. Door talk works. Again, that's feedback because they're so close to each other. Remote stations work. We have inside patio talk. Door talk. And that's all fine. There's no chime module in this master. Her installation didn't include one. The radio plays. We have FM.
Drunk with
AM.
Any Sleep World, visit Sleep World. Definitely on guard.
It's also, for that matter, part of
its highest level.
Phono input, tape input, microphone works. If we leave a message, the microphone light flashes to remind you someone left you a message, like anybody's going to do that anymore. Program off. You can set the time. The scan tuning works, and the cassette player works. That's all we can play. It's a little Linda Ronstadt on a Friday morning. Her repair was very successful. I think she'll be very pleased with the way the system operates and also how it looks now compared to what it was when she sent it in. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect it all, take it back to the office, pack it up, and send it back to her. It's just another example of a seriously damaged 4006 that was repaired to work properly again, and a nicely re-whitened faceplate to go along with it to give her, she can easily get another 15-20 years out of it now if she wants to. So it was a successful repair. If you found this video interesting and helpful, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. If you like our videos and they help you and you learn something from them, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you subscribe, you'll get a notification when we post new videos. Our pace is about 1 video a week or so, sometimes a little more, and get a notification to let you know that there's a new video. That's all for today. See you on the next video.